You are such a classic example of selling the business the way you want to sell it to a buyer that you can convince to pay you a lot more because of what you could do for them. You reverse sold your business, basically.
My name is Samantha Guthrie. We owned Automated ATM Solutions, also known as Cypress Advantage. So it was an ATM company in the United States. We worked with distributors nationwide, bought our first ATM machine on a credit card, drained our bank account of all $2,000 we had to our name, and grew that to over 8,000 ATM machines nationwide.
8,000 ATMs. Oh my God, all over the country.
Right. So that was
Started
just,
with one.
20 years. But
20 years,
yes.
but started with one.
Yeah.
That you maxed your credit card out to buy.
Yeah.
And then you ended up with 8,000.
Right. And the main thing is most entrepreneurs, I think they have a heart for entrepreneurship, but I don't think they necessarily have the business skills. I did not go to business school. And here it was, I not only started a company, but it ended up being nationwide. And the things that I needed to know along the way, I was just working my ass off. I was just working hard every single day. And I figured that would be what would get me where I needed to go. And it did to a certain point. And then we kind of hit the ceiling.
And is that where we met, when you hit the ceiling?
Yeah, well, we had been doing it for a while. I think we were definitely at one of the break points where we either needed to implement a completely different strategy to get to the next level or even consider an exit.
So how long ago we started working together?
3 years ago.
3 years ago. And how did you hear about Cardone Ventures and Brandon Dawson? Were you following Grant Cardone?
I was actually at a Grant Cardone real estate conference. We had started taking some of our revenue from the company and transitioning it into wealth through real estate investments. And you happened to be there, and it just kind of took off from there. We met with somebody and started with the 360 and just kept going into your program.
When you went to the 10X 360, that was the 2-day program.
Right.
What was kind of your initial thought after the 2 days about what you experienced there?
That it was like the door cracking open to everything I didn't know. It's like little pieces, like there was so much information in the 2 days, and a lot of it, some of it I knew, some of it I didn't know, but I could tell that there was way more information available on all the different topics that were covered over those 2 days that really needed a deeper dive.
So you go to the 10X 360, you go home, you guys start deploying some of what you learned. What happened with the business right after that?
Well, we pretty much started even things with like mission, vision, values with our employees, all the SOPs, like writing everything down. That was so key. That completely elevated the value of our company. But we really just started strategizing and going into the details we had kind of skipped over because we were just so busy hustling before.
And how big was your business when you came to the 360?
It was probably 150,000 net per month.
Yep.
And it ended at 250.
Yeah. So you went through the 360, and then you engineered your business with us.
Right.
And so then we constructed the model to create more value through your existing business.
Correct.
And work side by side with you guys for 7 or 8 months, and then deliver that to you.
Correct.
And then a year later, you started implementing those things, became more efficient, higher revenue per employee, started creating more profitability. And you caught the attention of somebody because you were overperforming the marketplace. And they came to you and said, hey, we'd like to maybe talk about buying your business.
That's pretty much, yeah. We had some industry professionals that we knew that I had kind of reached out to, but I was sort of floating things out while we were doing our platforming with you. And so it actually was a couple-year process of sort of getting buyers together and honing them in to see what their interest level was, but I didn't pull the trigger till I was ready.
So once you were ready and you were confident, you had your processes in place, you were driving so much value without expanding your team, building these SOPs and this whole process around a high-valued, high-profitable ATM management company at that point.
Correct.
And so you go to sell your business. Traditionally, your business would have been worth what number if you hadn't had all that process in place?
Maybe $6 million.
6
at
million,
that point.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but because you implemented it, and you probably spent $500,000 with us doing all this stuff, maybe more.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Maybe less, actually.
Maybe less,
yeah.
actually. So all of a sudden you get in the sales process, you got your book to rely on, you've deployed your systems, your processes, and people are looking at that and they're like, man, you guys are way overperforming here. We don't want to just buy your business. We want to buy your business to put into all our businesses so that we can make everything more profitable.
That's exactly what happened.
And so then what happened to the value of your business?
So from the initial, it almost tripled. So we actually sold for double the industry average. It was actually those systems that they wanted. So other companies our size have 75 employees and we had 3.
Oh my God, think about it. Think about the value creation with just building the business right.
Yes.
3 employees doing what most people would have 75 employees. And then people ask me all the time, so you could best relate when I get asked, how did you sell your business for 77 times EBITDA,
Right.
150? And I say, I didn't sell my business for what I was doing. I sold my business for what the buyer could do by buying
Exactly.
me. And that's how you guys positioned your business, is not
Exactly.
necessarily what your business was doing, but hey, if somebody bought us, they could be 3 times bigger and more profitable, and we have the system to do it.
Exactly. I actually think the entire platforming program, not just, it helped me dial things in for my company, but it helped me really identify who my buyer would be. And then I positioned myself to the buyers in ways that worked for them. So I had 2 potential buyers ultimately at the end, and they could have asked me the same question, but I knew how to respond differently based on their business needs, not mine to sell.
Which is what we teach, because that's how I sold my business. You are such a classic example of selling the business the way you want to sell it to a buyer that you can convince to pay you a lot more because
Right.
of what you could do for them. You
Exactly.
reverse sold your business,
Exactly.
basically.